He went into the shower. Just like always. But this time, something felt different. The air in the room was thicker, as if someone else's scent lingered. A presence. A trace. A glance that didn't belong to me, or to him. I sat at the edge of the bed, feeling the sheets as they held more than just memories of us. One of the pillows was oddly crushed. He never sleeps like that. Always still, respectful of silence. But this, it felt like someone had been lying there, and left in a hurry. My heart clenched. But I said nothing. Silence is an old friend. We're taught, from young, to endure. To keep our faces calm while the soul trembles quietly. I am a Muslim woman. My faith is in modesty, in purity, in patience. But patience becomes fragile when the boundaries you cherish are crossed, by someone you trusted to protect them. The sound of water grew louder. As if he wanted it to drown out what stood between us, the silence, the knowing. I walked to the door. Not from jealousy. Not from doubt. More to hear, who was in that shower, the man I chose, or his shadow. My fingers touched the frame. It was warm, as though someone else had just leaned against it. Inside me, something boiled. Not anger, something more complex. A mix of ache, instinct, and that quiet warning that keeps you awake at night. Maybe I'm to blame. For trusting too much? For speaking too little? The water fell steadily, and I traced back in my mind, when did the cracks begin? When did his eyes start wandering? When did his touch lose its warmth? When did he begin to vanish? I didn't want to open the door. I only wanted the truth. To understand the lesson. And to know who needed it more, him or me. I'll take a short pause. Let me know in the comments where you're listening from. Have you ever experienced something similar? I'd love to read your stories. And if you're enjoying this kind of storytelling, don't forget to subscribe. Now, I'll continue. He was in the shower. And I stood by the mirror, trying to find an answer in my reflection. But the woman looking back, wasn't me. She was someone else. Someone I never planned to become, yet there she was. She stared calmly, with a trace of a smile. As if she already knew, there was no turning back. Maybe that was me. Just without fear. Without the fairy tales. Without the quiet hope that, we'll fix this. It didn't smell like his shampoo. I noticed it right away. It was sweet. Floral. Bold. Something I'd never choose. And neither would he. And yet, it was on him. On his skin. On the towel. In our home. The water ran, louder than usual. Each drop was a drip of something deeper, my patience, slowly unraveling. I knew before. Deep down, I always knew. But now, it had a scent. And that scent wasn't mine. What surprised me most was, I didn't feel jealous. I felt memory. Of last night. Another apartment. Foreign walls. A view I'd never seen before. And him, not him. Someone else. But still, he held me like I hadn't been held in years. In that moment, I wasn't just unfaithful. I was reclaiming something. The ability to feel seen. To feel wanted. To feel real again. I didn't go there for love. I went there to remember who I was, before I began shrinking into someone else's silence. He came out, drying his hair with a towel. Everything looked normal. The same rhythm, the same gestures. Even the scent on his skin felt, almost familiar. Almost. He smiled like nothing had changed. "Why so quiet?" he asked. I nodded gently and said, "Just saving energy." He laughed, light, careless, the way he always does. And I looked at him and wondered, does he really not feel it? Not see it? Or is he just better at pretending than I ever was? The shower had rinsed off the scent of another. The evidence. The clues. But guilt isn't water-soluble. It lingers. It floats in the air like steam, invisible, but suffocating. We sat down to have breakfast. He poured my tea. And I noticed my hands tremble as I picked up the cup. Not from fear. Not from cold. But from the heaviness inside, the silence building its own gravity. I had been unfaithful. To him. To us. But most of all, to the woman I used to be. The one who waited. Who forgave. Who stayed. Until one day, she didn't. It didn't make things easier. Only quieter. Like the moment right after the lights go out. He looked at me from across the table. I smiled. And inside, I said goodbye. Let me know in the comments what you think about this story. Have you ever lived through something similar? Your thoughts and experiences mean a lot to me. I read everything and deeply appreciate each one of you. If you connect with the stories I share, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, so you won't miss the next intense chapters. Wishing you a peaceful, meaningful day. And if you stayed with me until the end, write this in the comments. True silence speaks louder than words.